Authority can be different things: a person, a concept, a construct, an idea, ideology, something that we put on a pedestal. From the first moment of being, when you opened your eyes to this light, to this reality that we call life, you were clueless. You didn't know what to do. So naturally you were seeking some kind of a safety, security, and the society took that as an opportunity to project its own beliefs onto you. It crammed in all its rules and beliefs onto you so that you could become a full-fledged part of society. And being part of the society implies that you do exactly like many others. This homogeneity is necessary for society, for its health, for its development. But what does it to you as an individual, as a person? So as we grow a little bit older, we start to develop the ability to walk. We stumble upon chairs, different toys, and quickly realize that we need guidance. We need someone who can teach us the ways of this new world that we arrived at. So that grand curiosity of ours leads us to learn a lot of stuff that seem to be paramount for survival. And we're not just learning, rather replicating our older relatives, because as a newborn baby you have zero ego development, and ego implies survival in this physical form, and the better we get at survival, the more accumulation happens within us, a character that we build in mind and tell ourselves that is real, ultimately forgetting that all is in perception. Years pass, selfishness grows steadily. By that time, we already acquired some education, some friends, some partnerships, career. That's a part of our ego. And the more of that we accumulate, the greater the authority becomes. Authority is a concept, something that we lean upon because we feel safer. A belief system that lets us to feel grounded in reality. Something that we can refer in different situations, be it science, education, relationships. We know it's true because we've heard that before. But do we really have an experience with that particular segment of life? As it shows, nah. There are very few things that we verify for ourselves. Most of the things that we get taught in this life is something that we take for granted, without any questioning, almost always lacking any fact-checking. This is a sort of naivete that we have developed through ages, something that tells us that we have to believe others because it's a part of our social code. It's a part of our socialization as species, because if we don't trust each other, we won't survive. And this notion of blindly following something without any background check is no coincidence. This happens during our most vulnerable time on this earth, the time when we are most receptive to new knowledge, to new ideas, to new concepts, ideologies, when we are not really developed and we have a lot to learn. When we are small children, we crave guidance because as babies our survival instincts are most heightened. You don't know whether this world is very secure and safe. That knowledge will come much earlier. But before that, we are most primal. And if to be successful in our survival, we need to adopt a lot of social constructs, then so be it. Authority offers a false sense of security, but instead it trades you off of your freedom. It robs you of the truth. Nothing in life is for free. You have to always trade something, whether it's your time, your resources, or maybe your soul, so to speak. Many people live in unknowing without ever questioning the authority and wondering about the purpose of their being on this planet. Authority can be different things: a person, a concept, a construct, an idea, ideology, something that we put on a pedestal and see above us. When you blindly follow something, it increases the risk of you being closed off for good in the search for the truth, in the search for something beyond the thing that holds authority over you. Some say there are systems that ought to be kept without ever questioning, which is wrong. That comes from a place of fear. Fear for what that digging might result in, what that could reveal. Because when the truth shines light upon the darkness,
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
no devilish activities can go on. No lies can be covered anymore. And that threatens a lot of people's egos. Oftentimes those people who hold authority over you. And what is authority in that case? It's power. Its ability to guide you, to control you without you even knowing what you're doing. And you're fully accepting that, because in your head, that's the way it should be. That's the way it always has been. And there's absolutely no need for change. Change is painful. It demands a lot of courage. And courage is a heroic mindset, which directly threatens evil. Don't get me wrong, there are instances where authority is very good. It's good for keeping low consciousness in check. But authority also is very poisonous for higher consciousness, who is on a pursuit for truth seeking. Funny, growing up you thought your parents, your teachers knew everything. And now, when you look back at those moments, you can almost chuckle at some ideas that those people held. That means you have grown. That means that you have broadened your perspective and understanding for reality. And that's good. You should keep doing that. That means that you hold yourself to the high accountability and value your own competence greatly. Self-reliance, accountability, ownership, those things is what guides you. Because you know that other people cannot know your life better than you. Your experiences are true for you, and your truth cannot be explained by others. It's only for you to experience. The only authority is the highest awareness, true being. And you, my friend, embody it. Unless you don't. I guess you're watching this type of content. That ought to mean something. The purpose of this video is to merely remind you to not put any person, any idea, any ideology or things on a pedestal. To remind you to always be diligent in your search for answers. No one can do or say something to you unless you let them. No one can make you think or act in any particular way unless you let them. No one is your superior unless you invite them to be. Freedom is of high cost and it's not for everyone. Watch this video to understand more about freedom. But for now, Hossein out.